We're going to talk to our next guest about food, about eating behaviors. He's got a very interesting take on obesity issues, and he's a medical doctor, and he's got a very interesting medical take on what he calls the disease of obesity. His book is Stop Dying Fat. Dr. Kadile, Dr. Eleazar, I think he says it, Eleazar Kadile is director of the Center for Integrative Medicine and also the author of a book called Stop Dying Fat, and he's going to tell us why being fat is not our fault. I'm not sure if I like the way that sounds, because we're all about personal responsibility here on the bright side, but we'll let Dr. Kadile tell us about that. Welcome to the program, Dr. Kadile.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for coming on.
Brightside Ben.
That's me, Brightside Ben. You can call me Ben or Pharmacist Ben or whatever. It's Kadile, right? Did I say that right,
yes.
Dr. Kadile? Okay, good deal. So Stop Dying Fat's the title of your book, and your take on fat is that it's not our fault. Tell me why being fat is not our fault.
Obesity, as many people believe, is as simple as you are lazy to exercise and you eat too much.
Okay.
Well, in my years of experience, I handle these obese people, hard to lose weight with medical complication each and every day for over 35 years.
Okay.
And I have learned through experience and research that eating too much and lazy to exercise is not the cause. It's the consequence of obesity.
Now, hang on. Let me sit with that for a second. You're saying eating too much is not the cause of obesity. It's a consequence of obesity. So in other words, we're obese. Is that you're talking about metabolism there, chemistry? Is that what we're talking?
Yes, we are talking about the complexity of obesity, which have accumulated over the years. These include the kind of food that our farmers produce, our people that store this food for the right price, and how we farm our animals.
Okay,
they
so
are
we got
prematurely harvested. They are given all kinds of chemicals that are quite toxic to speed up the growth.
Hormones and such. Estrogen you're talking about, and insulin and that kind of thing, growth hormones, somatostatin, etc.?
Yeah, we are talking, first of all, the effect of glyphosate. That is
glyphosate.
Yes, that is the herbicide.
Roundup.
Yeah, I don't want to mention name. I don't want to be in trouble with Monsanto.
Okay, we don't want Monsanto mad at us either. So, okay, we'll say glyphosate. Okay.
For all you know, they might be sponsoring your program.
Yeah, okay, that's right. We don't want any problems with Monsanto. But glyphosate, yes, we've talked about that in the past. Are you saying that the herbicide and the pesticides have an effect on obesity through fat storage? People, the body stores fat, stores the toxins in fat. Is that what you're alluding to?
Exactly, and these are nerve poison on low dose.
So the poison, our obesity is a consequence. It's a protective mechanism in a sense. The body's protecting itself by storing it in fat. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. You have the right explanation. It is one of the defense mechanisms for survival.
So how about weight loss? Is that a problem? If people lose a lot of weight, will they release glyphosate and toxins into their blood as they're losing weight?
Well, if you don't do it right, it will add toxin to the liver. And these obese people have already a fatty liver to begin with. So you need to prepare the liver before we tell them to lose weight. For example, in my program, once the body is corrected and balanced, we expect them to lose half a pound to a pound every day without exercise.
And you're protecting the liver, and you're protecting the blood, and you're keeping toxins from pouring into the system by going slowly. Is that correct?
Yes. For example, we usually screen them for a number of blood tests and chemistry. The number one that we want to do is how good their metabolism is. We will measure their hormone level like insulin, because insulin is the hormone that can make every animal fat.
Mm-hmm.
And we also test them for micronutrient deficiency, especially vitamin D, as well as essential fatty acids.
So what's the link between vitamin D and weight, or vitamin D deficiency and weight?
Yes, because there is a hormone produced in the fat cells called leptin.
Leptin, L-E-P-T-I-N, leptin you're talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
And leptin is the hormone that will tell the hunger center in the brain that the fat cell is already full. So if you are so deficient of vitamin D, this leptin cannot do the function telling the hunger center, Ben is already full. Do not make Ben hungry, not until 4 or 5 hours later. So a lot of these people, unknowingly, they are eating almost every hour.
They're resistant to
once
leptin?
the D is corrected, that problem is gone.
So in other words, they're not responsive to leptin is what you're saying?
Correct.
And vitamin D is involved in sensitizing the body, making the body more sensitive to leptin?
Correct.
Oh, so the sun, basically. So sunshine can help you lose weight. Is that correct?
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But we got to stay out of the sun. The sun's the enemy, no?
Not at all.
No. Oh, that's what all the dermatologists. You mean the dermatologists are wrong? I can't believe that.
They are wrong.
Are you serious?
Oh
my God. They're making money? Oh my God. The dermatologists don't know what they're talking about? Oh my God, I can't believe that. Oh, that's shocking to me. Shocking.
Now, Ben.
Yes.
Think about it. Think about it. Every life needs sunshine.
Yeah.
Why would that be a problem?
But what about wrinkles? What about skin cancer? My dermatologist says I got to put on lots of sunblock, or sunscreen. Says I got to smear on it like the amount of a shaving cream. I got to smear it on all over my body. That's what the dermatologist tells me. No, is that not correct?
That is a myth.
Oh.
To think about it.
We can't trust anybody these days. We can't even trust our doctors. Oh, my God.
Right.
What is this world coming to? Hang on, Doc. We're going to take... I'm teasing you, Doc. Hang on. We're going to take a break, and then we'll continue when we come back. Thank you, Doctor. We're talking to Dr. Eleazar Kadile about weight loss and doctors being wrong. I cannot hardly believe that I heard Dr. Kadile say that. We're coming back right after this on The Bright Side. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side talking to Dr. Eleazar Kadile about why our fat is not our fault. Dr. Kadile, so before we went to our break, you were telling us about leptin and vitamin D in the sun, and I was teasing you a little bit, but obviously we talk about this all the time on this program, how important the sun is for lots of things, but also, as you point out, vitamin D is related to leptin, and that's related to eating behavior or eating too much. Not eating or eating too much. Leptin is an appetite suppressant hormone, correct, Doc?
Correct.
Okay,
now,
so we
Ben,
yes.
Before we went into a break, let me just clarify what I said about sunscreen. Now, most malignant melanoma develop on the part of our body that the sun don't see.
Interesting. Inside the body. No,
like in the rectum, like that, or in the buttocks, or behind the leg. Those are the part of our body that the sun seldom see.
Right. You can get it inside your body, too. You can get melanoma.
Yeah. Right. That's why now we wrinkle because European people, they are not supposed to look tan. You are not built that way. So too much sun exposure is not good either. It has to be in moderation.
But the sun is not a demon in the sky that's just hell-bent on destroying us.
Without the sun, nobody grows.
Right. I know. I totally know what you're saying. We talk about that all the time. I want to get back to this idea about food, though, because that's very important. When you say our fat is not our fault, we're really stuck in a situation where we have to eat a fat-inducing foods. We're stuck. We don't have an option, correct? Even if we're eating vegetables.
Well, no. If you want to lose fat, you have to eat fatty food.
Oh, interesting. Tell us why
Yes.
that is. So to lose fat, you have to eat fat.
Yes.
That's
Because
very interesting.
the body is designed that way.
Does
You
the
are a pharmacist,
Yes.
and the hormone glucagon
Okay.
will suppress the insulin response.
And glucagon is stimulated by fat.
Correct. So you can
Interesting.
lose weight that way.
Very interesting. Good fat. What kind of fats do you recommend?
Beef, fatty
Beef?
oily fish,
Uh-huh.
pork, and we now learn that calorie is not that important as far as losing the weight.
You've been listening to my
What is
program, it sounds like. It sounds like you've been listening to The Bright Side. These are all the things we talk about every day.
Right.
What do vegetarians do?
Oh, vegetarian is really misinformed. There is no such thing as essential carbohydrate. So fruit and vegetables is not essential for life.
How about phytonutrients? How about carotenoids and flavonoids? Are there any phytonutrients that are essential?
Well, no, they are not essential. There is
Interesting.
essential amino acid. There is essential fatty acid. Never
Right.
in the history of medicine that they have discovered essential carbohydrate.
Now, how about the phytonutrients, not the carbohydrate fraction, but the small nutrients?
Nutrient is good for antioxidant. But if you want to lose weight, that is not necessary.
Interesting. How about filling up with fiber, with vegetables, filling up with fiber and
Now,
vegetables?
fiber is good as long as you eat a carbohydrate for fiber. Yes, that is good for weight loss. And the general principle is any plant that grows above ground is good. They are low glycemic. They do not have an immediate release of glucose.
Like potatoes, for example.
Anything that grows below ground
Yeah.
is not good. It's sweet. It's full of
Interesting.
sugar, and they are refined.
How about turnips?
That's not good either. If
Sugar?
you want to lose weight.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Now, how about tell me just a little bit about food allergies. What's the relationship between food allergies and weight gain?
Well, if you are bitten by a bee, you have an allergic response. You swell up, and you retain water as a protective mechanism to water down the inflammation. Now, if you have food allergy is not just limited to itchy eyes, itchy nose. It can be in a form of migraine headache, weight gain, and if you eat the food that you're allergic to, you have a general inflammatory response.
Can you tell the difference?
Water is mobilized.
Can you tell the difference by looking or by feeling whether your weight gain is an allergic response, a water response, or whether it's fat, body fat?
Oh, yes. If you gain 2 pounds overnight, that's an allergic response.
Got it.
You do not build fat that fast.
Okay.
That is water weight.
Okay. How much of your weight loss, now you say you lose half a pound using the Kadile program, you lose half a pound a day. How much of that is fat and how much of that is water? Or is there any way to tell?
Well, normally the body is 70% water and the rest is fat. So the same thing, you lose 70% of that is water and 15% of that is fat.
Okay, so
because
for
the rest is dry weight, like composed by bone and skin, like that.
So if you lose half a pound a day, you're saying 70% of that would be water and the rest would be fat? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
got it. What about post-eating inflammation, the standard inflammatory response that occurs after eating anything? How does that relate?
That is also if you eat an inflammatory food, for example, chicken is now regarded as the highest rating for inflammation.
Interesting. And it doesn't matter how it's prepared? Any chicken you're talking about?
No. It's the chicken meat. Especially worse now because chicken eats grain and the chicken is raised in a close community. There again, they are loaded with glyphosate because of the grains they're eating.
Wow. So organic, of course. Now, organic would make a difference, then, you're saying? Hormone-free?
Free-range organic chicken would be ideal.
All right. So even vegetables, based on this glyphosate connection, even if you're a vegetarian or eating salads all day, those can be weight gain foods, correct?
Yeah, it's very toxic.
Wow.
Now keep in mind again that those things would raise insulin response.
Even non-sweet veggies?
Yes, because eventually when they are digested and assimilated, they will all end up glucose.
Uh-huh. No matter what, even if it's not a sweet veggie, even something like a pepper or a cucumber.
Correct.
Interesting. How about prescription drugs? Where do they fit in?
Oh, my gosh, you asked the right question.
All right.
90% of prescription drug slows down weight loss.
Wow.
Yeah, because they are foreign to the body.
So they're toxins, so the body has to protect itself. Same idea as with the... Interesting. Do you use prescription drugs in your practice?
I have not used prescription drug for the last 35 years.
That's wonderful.
Chronic illness are all related to eating the wrong food.
That's great. How about digestive problems? How about breakdowns in the intestine, leaky gut syndrome and such, dysbiosis and
we
that kind of
address that. In fact, the first part that we do is we do what we call digestive health support, because most of the treatment regimen we use are natural product. Natural product will not work unless they are digested well. We use digestive enzyme. If they have gluten intolerance, we have a special digestive enzyme for that.
What do you have for gluten intolerance? What do you use for that?
We use the product called Mega Polyzyme.
Mega Polyzyme?
Right. Has been, of all the products that I tried for years, this is the best.
So you're saying people could eat gluten if they take the Mega Polyzyme? It will break down?
No. They have to avoid gluten-containing food for 6 months. Then they need to take Mega Polyzyme in the event because, we like to eat out. So we do not want to restrict their lifestyle.
Hey, Doc, we're out of time, but this is a fascinating conversation. Can we get you back? I only got about 30 seconds here. Can we get you back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to call.
To be on your show. You are a good host.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to talk to Rich today or tomorrow. We'll get you on again. Thank you so much, Dr. Kadile. I wish we had more time. Book is Stop Dying Fat, Doctors Healing the Disease of Obesity, Dr. Eleazar M. Kadile. Thank you so much, Doc. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, friends. We'll be back at you tomorrow. We'll continue talking about the ketogenic diet. Have yourselves a spectacular, wonderful, awesome